Hi, second graders. It's Mrs. Sylvester with some practice for your math lesson today. We have been working hard all year long in representing numbers in different ways, and we got really proficient at it with numbers within 200, and now we're looking at three-digit numbers within 1,000. And you have a really cool chart on your slideshow, and it has four different ways to represent numbers. So just the number, the standard form, the expanded form, the number name, and that means writing out the number name in words, and then representing the picture, representing the number with a picture representing the number. And this is what we more often call our quick pick or our proof drawing. Now the directions say you can draw the picture on a different piece of paper. I'm going to show you a way that you could do it on your Google slideshow if you are comfortable doing it that way as well. So let's look at the first one together. We have our number 127. So what is that? I know that if I expand it, that means to really stretch it out to think about the values of each place. This one right here in 127 isn't just one, but it's really 100. So I'm typing in 100, and if you can press Shift, and then there's a plus sign. And you don't have to worry about putting a space between the numbers. The plus sign is at the top of your keyboard on the same row that has all the numbers. So there's a plus sign and there's an equal sign, but since the plus sign is on top, you need to press the Shift button. So 127. I hear myself saying 20, so that 2 really represents 20. So I'm going to type in 20 and then press my Shift again for the plus sign, because in this number, we know that we're really combining those values, the 100, the 20, and then finally in my ones place is the number 7, 127, and that really is just 7 ones. So that 7 is a 7. And if you think back to our practice with our secret code cards, this is what we really see on those cards, and then we combine it together to just have 127. All right, so how are you doing on your spelling? Well, we know the number 1, then we do need a space. 100, it sounds like it has a short I at the end, but it's really spelled with an E. 100, 100, space, 27, 27. Now, instead of a space between my tens and my ones, I actually use a special punctuation mark called a hyphen. And that hyphen, that mark, is also on your top row of your keyboard on the same row as the numbers. So if you found the plus sign, the key right to the left of that is the hyphen. So hyphen and then 7. And that is how you represent the number in words. So 127. And you don't need to capitalize the O in 1, but sometimes your computer will automatically do the first letter when you start a new line, but we're not really writing a sentence. So 127. I don't need that hyphen between my hundreds place and my tens. It only is used between your tens and your ones. Got it? Okay, so now if you want, as I said, to show that picture on your Google slide instead of your piece of paper, here's something you could do. You go up to the top of your slideshow and you see this key, this word called insert. That means to put something in. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click on shape. So drawing 127, I know that I'm going to need, what shape do we use for our 100? Our 100 piece is in the shape of a square. So I'm going to click on shape and find the first square. It says rectangle, but we know we can make it look like a square. So 100, I hold my mouse down as I drag it across, and there I have a 100 box. And I know some of you are really into changing your font and your color. So you could, if you want, change that square 100 box into a different color. But if you click away, it should just be gray. So there's our 100. We use a square to represent 100. Next, I need to represent my 20. And what do we use for our tens place? We use 10 sticks. So I can go to Insert, and when we draw that, we just draw a 10 stick like a line. So come down here and go to Line. And we don't need an arrow, we just need a plain line. So I click on Line, and you'll notice my mouse, what's called a cursor, is just a plus sign. So I can click at the top and then drag it down. And instead of having my line go all zigzag, just keep it nice and straight as you can, about the same size as your 100 box, and then let go. So I just did one 10 stick, but my number is 127. So let me go and do another 10 stick line. And I'm going to just do it right next to it. All right, and I almost forgot, as we draw our quick pick, it's good for us to do our freeze in between. So I did my 100, freeze, 110, 120, freeze, and now I'm in my ones place, and I have 7 in my ones. Now, how do we draw our ones? We use little 1 dots or circles. So that would be going back to my Insert button, down to Shape, and when I hover over Shape, or you can click on it, I see a circle. So I'm going to click on that. It said oval, but I can make it look like a circle. And I need to have 7 of them. So ready, 1. And here's something I'm going to also teach you. I made 1, and if I click away, this might be a little advanced for you, but if you click it, and any friends who know how to right click, you'll have to use your keyboard. So maybe don't know how to do the copy and paste, but that's where I was going. You could just copy and paste that 6 more times, but if not, maybe we'll just stick with drawing 7 circles. Unfortunately, you have to go back to inserting it. So 1, there's 2. Let me go to my shape again for my circle. 3. And 4. All the way until I get to 7. Now, that one is a little smaller, but that's okay. Now, since I know how to copy and paste, that's what I'm going to do because it's a little faster for me. And then I can click someplace else. And it's a little small, but as I drag it, or I can use my keyboard arrows. If you're really interested in how to do this and you're having a hard time, maybe someone in your family can help you. So it's not as neat as drawing, at least right now I'm not doing my best job. So if you want to do the paper option, that is certainly available. Okay, do I have 7? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I kept my 1 circles nice and neat, having 5 across, and then my new row for my 10 frame. Okay, let me double check. 127, expanded form, that would be 100 plus 20 plus 7, number name, 127. And we're lucky on our Google slideshow, if you misspell something, for example, if I did sound out 100 and spelled it with an I, because it sounds like a 100, I have a red line under there. And maybe you've learned that when you see a word that has a red line, the computer is letting you know that that word is not recognized as being spelled correctly. So you can right click on it and it will give you a suggestion. Did you mean 100? Oh yes, 100. We don't really say the short E sound, but it is spelled like that. So you can check your spelling hopefully on your computer. Okay, so we did our number name and let's check our picture. 100, freeze. 110, 120, freeze. 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127. Okay. Now the rest of your chart is kind of like a fun game. Our second row here, we only are being given the expanded form. The third row, you're only given the number name. And then the fourth row, you're given the picture. And it looks like we do have a picture of 100 blocks and 10 sticks. So let me just give you one last tip. When you have your expanded form, we're going to think of those as secret code cards and then squish them all together. So I see 500 plus 60 plus 8. But as I type it into my number, for 500, I'm only going to use the digit 5. Now, if I left it like that, that wouldn't represent 500. But as I add on to my tens place, for 60, I only need a 6 because then I have 8 in the ones place. And if you try it out, you can then compare how your expanded form is to your standard form of the number. Let's read it. 568. 568. 500 plus 60 plus 8. Yes, that makes sense. But if for some reason you made a mistake, go back and double check. But then you have a chance to continue representing the numbers. I think it's a lot of fun. And you maybe could even do some more, maybe make a chart of this on your own too. Great work, Cook Cardinals. We're very proud of you. See you next time.